Go ahead and say your ABCs or something.
Just do a sound check.
Oh, hello. ABC, like, I didn't realize that literally meant ABCs.
I have children, so. Oh, go. Here we go. Rolling.
And I'll count to 3 so you can answer.
My name is Patrick Robinson. I looked at the wrong spot.
And we'll do it over. I'm going to ask the question again.
Okay.
Count to 3.
All right.
What is your name? What do you do? And where do you work?
My name is Patrick Robinson. I work for the University of Wisconsin Extension, and I'm the co-director and environmental studies specialist for the Environmental Resources Center.
Rolling. I'll ask it again. Why are you a proponent of collaboration in coastal management?
I feel like the issues that we have to address in coastal management are complex, and they bring in a lot of different issues related to both societal pressures, what folks are, the challenges they're facing, as well as the ecological challenges, the environmental challenges. And because of that, if you don't use collaboration, you have a very limited set of tools in your toolbox. And so I think it's all about trying to find solutions, and collaboration is a big part of trying to find those solutions.
I'll ask it again. Why are the reserves positioned to lead or contribute to collaborative projects and programs?
The reserves are really uniquely positioned. They're place-based, which a lot of the programming that we do doesn't have a place focus like the reserves do. And they have this integrated mission, which makes them very unique. They're trying to work on research, oftentimes applied research, education, and outreach all at the same time. And because of that, the kind of issues they're trying to address really require collaborative processes oftentimes to really get into the details of the kind of issues that they're addressing at their place-based locations require that form of collaboration.
Why is the NEARS positioned to lead or contribute to collaborative projects and programs?
I think the NEARS is well positioned because it's a place-based program, and a lot of the work that we are get involved with doesn't necessarily have that same aspect to it. So they're working on place-based issues, issues of importance to local communities. In addition, they have this integrated mission, which is really unique, where they're trying to address applied research, they're trying to address education and outreach related to different topics that communities need addressed. And really those things beg for collaboration if you really want to get to solving those problems. So because of the place-based nature, the integrated mission, they're really ripe places for doing some of the kind of collaborative processes that we think are so important.
What can leaders in coastal management do to motivate and incentivize people to adopt collaborative approaches?
At the risk of sounding Pollyannish, I really think it's about creating a culture and an expectation that the work that's being done is done in a collaborative manner. Obviously there's ways to incentivize things through funding and those sorts of mechanisms, but unless people really believe there's an expectation that that's the type of work that should be done, it has less likelihood of being done, and I think being even less likelihood of being done well. So I think it's about creating that culture and expectation that that's the way we do business.
Rolling.
So this is actually a very good question for me because I came at it through a circuitous path. I have a background in ecosystem studies, and I did a lot of applied work right out of school. I was in private consulting for a while, and I got frustrated by the fact that there was all of these ecosystem management issues that I was trying to address and never seemed to be able to really make the headway that I was feeling like we were really accomplishing something. And it was through applied work and frustrations that I started to look for different tools. Something that where I could actually at the end of the day feel like, wow, you know, maybe we're making headway here. Maybe that community actually is going to implement a solution that we've recommended. And so I started really on-the-job training related to collaborative processes, trying to teach myself how to be better at collaboration. And then that led to even more desire to learn about collaborative tools and really collaborate more with folks who were in collaboration to understand how to do it more effectively. So it really was a growth out of the work that I was doing and a desire to be more effective in that work. Okay. Yep. think that collaboration is really issue specific. And for those folks who are a little more hesitant about collaboration, I always start out by saying I realize that there are certain, especially ecosystem management topics that you might be dealing with that at the onset might not have a real obvious collaboration aspect. And the example I often use is if you're going to do a botanical survey of a piece of property, yeah, you probably don't need to collaborate with the city council on whether you should do the botanical survey or what the results are going to be. But when you get into the applied realm, and certainly anything, which is most of the issues we deal with in the environment that has a social driver to it, collaboration is almost always going to produce a better outcome. Even though it can be more challenging, even though it can take more time, you have a greater likelihood of success in most instances. I think one of the biggest benefits of doing a collaborative process is buy-in. You actually give stakeholders a voice in it. You give elected officials, city council members a chance to be involved in the process, to understand the messages that you're dealing with, the information you're dealing with. That creates buy-in from them, hopefully, so that the information that is developed has a high likelihood of being implemented and included in the planning process, in the decision-making process that ultimately you're hoping might be influenced. In the absence of that, what good is the information if the people who are going to be using it aren't bought into it? They're not going to use it anyways. So I think an outcome that just can't be overstated enough is getting those collaborators to have a voice and therefore be bought into the process. I think that the other thing that is really valuable about these collaborative or participatory processes is that if you don't get folks involved from the onset, especially those that have a different take on an issue or a different understanding of the issues that you don't have, you won't even know what your blind spots are. So in addition to the benefits that I mentioned and talked about related to buy-in, you're really giving yourself the best chance of success by understanding what are those issues that are really driving the bus when it comes to a city council member trying to implement a solution. It's hard to address things that you don't even know exist, and we all have blind spots. And I think those collaborative processes help us understand those blind spots and ensure that, as I mentioned before, we're getting to effective solutions.